Hey friends, it's me, Micah. This is the Homestead bandwagon. It is a disgusting, rainy, windy, cold day at the bandwagon homestead. And, well, we're going to talk about, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. I don't know what the saying is. So what we were trying to do a while back, see if we can get into the cellar here. I'm putting a new water filtration system in our cellar. So there used to be a big HVAC system in here. It's all gone. It's just got some flower bulbs and stuff in there. Anyway, trying to put an HVAC system in, or not an HVAC system, trying to put a water filtration system in, which meant we're going to have to run some new water lines and power lines and stuff like that. And then I was hoping to get power out to the shed over here, so we could use that for propagating plants during the winter and fall and whatnot. So really great idea. Unfortunately, we did not get a fall. Things went from summer to winter instantly. I couldn't get the electrician to show up. I should have just done it myself, but you know, hindsight's 20/20. So I started digging this ditch that went under the driveway and put in some conduit and then covered the ditch so we could drive over the driveway. And now we have a hole here and a hole on the other side here full of 3 feet of water. And this ditch was supposed to go 500 feet up the hill, and we actually started up on the hill. And I said, you know what, forget about it. The electrician's not showing up. We're just gonna call it a year. So I gotta fill this ditch back in though. This is just getting crazy. You know, my concern is somebody could fall in it, I guess, or it'll eventually undermine the driveway, whatever. So we gotta pump out this ditch on either side, push the dirt back in, and then I gotta go find some like OSB or plywood or something to go onto over the top of where the ditches were, because over here, so what we got is we got a bunch of clay in the ground here, and when this type of clay, when it gets wet, man, all of a sudden it turns into quicksand. So I tried to take this stump out earlier in the year, completely failed, and this clay has gotten so soft here, I actually sunk in here up to my hips. So I don't want anybody, whoops, I'm sinking in again, anybody sinking in over there. So I got to cover it up with some wood. It's gonna look really great. I'm sure the neighbors love us. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff to do before we can do any of the stuff we got to do. So here we go. I'm gonna do some of the stuff I got to do. All right, so we got the tractor pulled around. We got a hole full of water, and we got a water pump. Now this is a 2-inch water pump. This is made by Kohler. A lot of people buy Hondas. Hondas are kind of the gold standard, but 2 inches is a good all-around size for dewatering or irrigating or whatever. You know, if you got a flooded basement, it won't take the water all the way down to where it's dry, because these got to stay primed. They can't run dry, so it won't dry it all the way to the floor. But you know, if in an emergency, it works pretty good. You know, you gotta, I don't know, man, fill up a lake or something, they'll do a good job. You know, different pumps for different applications, but it can kind of deal with a little bit of dirty water, and they're pretty reliable. Yeah, I got this one. It's a Kohler. It's just as good as a Honda, I think, you know, for my usage. So you got a spot where the water goes in right here, and the water comes out right here. I switched these to cam locks because they're way easier to deal with. A lot of the cheaper pumps will come with like screw-on stuff. You got to get cam locks. So there you go. There's the female end. Just open these little cams, plug it on the side, and then lock down the levers. It's not the easiest thing. They'll get a little hard to deal with sometimes, but it's easier than screwing stuff on or off all the time. Man, I gotta go get my hammer. Hold on. There we go. All right, they're cammed. We're fine. I'm not going to put a hose up here because the water will just spray out. It'll be fine. And you got to open the top of this thing. And then you got to go find a antique ball jar with a little handle on it. It probably sells for like 50 bucks in an antique store. You got to fill that full of water. Water gets poured in the top. And we need a little more water. That's about as empty as it's going to get. You can see the problem here. This stream here, the whole driveway's draining into this hole. It'll never be completely dry, so we'll have to fix that later. Let's go get the other one here. You know, that's as much as I'm going to be able to suck out of that one. Yeah, you can see the problem here. I mean, it's just a continuing stream of water flowing down in here. And this is so soft, I just walking on the edge and falling in. I don't want to lose any cars in here, so I'm going to have to fill this up. And of course, when you take dirt out of a hole, for some reason the dirt you take out isn't the same amount as the dirt you put back in. There's never enough dirt. So I'm going to use this dirt. I'm going to use some of this dirt, because this is the most important one. The edge of the driveway is right there. We'll just see if we can make sure this thing don't swallow a car. right, the trench is pretty much filled in. You can't trust it though. It is wet out here. You will sink right in. I'm going to take some just cheap OSB and cover where the trench was, especially over here because we got to work in here. So we're going to put some OSB in here so nobody falls in the mud, and then I'm going to try to regrade this out real quick and we'll call that it. Okay, well, it's not pretty, but the trenches are filled in on either side, and the driveway is mostly just graded out. This driveway's a mess, but I ain't gonna fix it until I'm done putting holes in it, because we got to run a trench all the way up that side of the driveway. So I want to get done doing that before I fix this once and for all. I don't know, man. This driveway was certainly getting undermined by all that water being on either side, just eating away at the sides. The whole thing was going to keep slumping off. So I'm glad I filled it in. Over here, I started sinking in with the tractor pretty good, even just in the yard. Thank goodness I'm also head landscaper, so I'll get to fix this. Yeah, nice deep ruts. But trench is right there, it's covered. And I found some extra topsoil and green matter that I'd pushed off to the side and filled them with that, which kind of holds better than the clay stuff does. And then I kind of just took dirt and mud and stuff and mixed it in with the rock. I was kind of hoping to push it against this side so the water would go that way, and I didn't do a real good job of it. There's still kind of a soft spot here. And I filled this in with big rock, just hoping that these big rocks would kind of support better than the small rock would. That rock was expensive too, but it's all I got, the small rock. But let me show you how much water is moving through this place. All right, so we're in the cellar. Now you can see there's a high water mark here. This is how high the water would get every year. See all that staining on the concrete? All that staining, that's where the water would get every year. So we put this sump in, and I'll just be quiet so you can listen. I'll bring the microphone over here and just hold it up to it. So listen to this water running under the house. Oh boy. Well, that's what we get to deal with out here. Just rain and mud and muck and floods and pestilence and whatever. Hope you all are treating yourselves well. I know this wasn't super exciting, but hey, just a little I guess update on what we're doing around here, because we ain't doing much because of the weather. All right, we'll see you.